Is it just me, or are there some games that are difficult to get back into after having taken a break for a while? There's been several different games where I've played them for a little while and I enjoyed them, and then I'll take this break. Maybe it's a couple of months, maybe it's a year, maybe it's 2 years. And I'll find myself kind of discouraged to jump back into these games after having taken a break. And that is mainly due to the fact that a lot of games nowadays are receiving new content and updates over time. And at face value, that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's not. But I do think there are some pros and cons to changing certain games over time. And I'm talking like significant changes to these games. And some of these games that come to mind that I feel might be a little difficult to get back into after having taken a somewhat long break are games like Rainbow Six Siege, Destiny, Apex Legends, Modern Warfare Warzone, Fortnite. Like Fortnite, for example, I've never really ever been in the Fortnite. I have like a couple, maybe overall I have like 12 hours of playtime in that game. I've never cared for Fortnite, but when it first came out, I did play it a tiny bit, and I understood what that game was at the time. Well, I haven't watched or touched that game since I think Season 1. If I jumped back into that now, it's a different game. It's a different game. Yeah, that game has seen so many updates and changes. I'd have to relearn the game. But other games like I mentioned, like Warzone and Apex Legends, Siege, Destiny has seen many changes over the years. Like the ways you would increase your light level when Destiny first came out, it's much different now. There's more. There's new systems in the game. There's new ways to earn engrams and things like that. I mean, the game has seen plenty of changes. So if you're someone who played Destiny when it first dropped and didn't play it again until now, a lot has changed. But like the main game for me is Rainbow Six Siege. I like Rainbow Six Siege. I don't play it much at all. But one of the reasons I'm not motivated to jump back into it is because the game has seen so many different updates and new characters added to the game, new gadgets, new weapons, updates to nerf or buff weapons, maybe adjust the rate of fire. Rainbow Six Siege have remixes of certain maps. So I definitely would have to relearn a big chunk of the game if I jumped back into it. Call of Duty, Warzone, there's been several changes to that. Like the weapons that were the meta several months ago are not anymore. I think the prices at the buy stations have changed, and I'm honestly not sure what else has changed in that. Apex Legends, I mean, right now it's an entirely new map. I think there's some sort of materials that you can collect, and there's buy stations in that. You can level up your armor now. Also, there's a bunch of new characters in Apex Legends with all their new abilities. It's not the same game as it was when it first launched. I'd have to relearn it. And I'm making this video because I want to know if anybody else has felt this same way, where there's games that they enjoy, but they've taken a break and you're kind of discouraged to get back into it because you'll have to relearn the game. And I'm not acting like updating games and adding new content is a bad thing. I'm not, no. But when some of these games significantly change over time while I'm taking a break from it, when I do want to play that game again, sometimes I just don't, because I know it's been changed so much and I'm gonna have to relearn things. And I don't necessarily want to relearn a game that I've already that I've already learned. You know, back in the day, this wasn't really a thing. Halo, Gears of War, COD. If I played those games at launch, took a year break, when I came back, it would be it's the same game. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe there's some new maps, but it's the same game. And look at a game like Halo 3. People are still playing Halo 3 today. Halo 3 is one of the most beloved games in the Halo series. And Halo 3 didn't see a bunch of drastic changes. For the most part, that game was pretty much the same at launch as it is now. Yeah, it did see some changes, but not to the degree that games nowadays change over time. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. New content for games, it's a good thing. It keeps them feeling new and refreshing. But, I just don't like having to relearn games that I've already learned once. Especially when there's changes to games such as like weapon balancing, nerfing and buffing weapons, changing rate of fire, maybe changing the flinch. Like, all those little changes, I'm not going to go back and look up all the different patch notes for a particular game and read them all so I can know what has changed while I wasn't playing this game for several months. In games like Rainbow Six Siege, there's changes to the map. Like, it's not like they necessarily added a new map. Sometimes they'll just change an old map. So I'll be playing on this old map and I'll be like, wait a minute, that's not how I remember it. That's not how I remember it. And also games like Apex, Siege, you get new characters that get added to the game over time with all these new abilities, maybe new weapons, and I just can't keep track of it all. But anyways, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.